Okay, Matt, your main power, it's in the on position right now. But anyway, we'll go over here. These are the switching plates. You can adjust those for where you want the carriage to actually start and stop. There's one on either end. Pretty straightforward. Just slide them around. This is the clamp for the magnet, so it's locked into place. I actually have it at 0 because I reground the magnet, but to adjust the magnet, you loosen that clamp lever off and just turn the hand wheel to whatever angle you're looking for. I'm guessing you guys are probably at about 30 degrees. Anyway, but the magnet, I reground the magnet and we wound up putting in a new PLC. So E-stop, rotate, style, in, out. Machine has to be turned on first, and with the machine on, it'll illuminate. We have the grinding motor. We have the feed. So if we turn the feed on, we have a potentiometer. This was added by Ackhurst back in the day on some of these. They were typically a 2-speed, but now this machine has a single speed for on, and then a potentiometer for carriage travel. Coolant pump on and off, and then this is for the down feed. So if you're going to use the hand wheel, you have to be at the 1. If you're going to use the automatic down feed, it has to be in the 0 position, and then you would energize that button. This works for up and down rapid for the grinding head, and forward and back rapid. The hand wheel is up and down. It's marked by a positive and a negative. Can't remember now. I'll have to turn it on and check, but I think positive is to raise it, and negative is to negative is to lower the wheel, and positive is to raise it off of the workpiece. And then the chuck has an off button, an on button, and a demag. So when you start the machine, you can't run the machine unless the magnet's turned on. So then we turn the magnet on, and it illuminates, and then you can turn the grinding motor on, like so, and it'll start. It's a 2-speed start. It's what they call a star delta start. So it'll start running, and then you'll hear it switch to a different circuit. And with the magnet on, then it's safe to energize the carriage. Now, I don't have coolant running right now because we're kind of in a manual mode. You can see it hovers over the switching plate. And then once it's over the switching plate, it will change directions. Now, just remember, when you speed it up, it'll go a little farther past the switching plate. And that's just because the ramp up and ramp down time for the drive is in time. So the faster it goes, the longer it'll travel when it switches. Anyway, I'm going to shut that off. And I'm going to raise the grinding head. It won't go up right now because I have it in automatic down feed. When I switch this to manual, it indicates that the down feed is off, and we can raise the grinding head. Just push it and hold it. I think you can see it coming up slowly. And now we've raised the grinding wheel quite a ways from the magnet. It had been down near the magnet because I just finished grinding it. It'll down feed in 2 directions. It's programmed, the switch will program it to down feed only at that corner of the machine, the left-hand corner of the machine. And in this position, it'll down feed on that corner and that corner. So left and right, it'll down feed. So it gives you the opportunity to regulate how much down feed you want, or when it's in hand wheel, you can down feed it manually, just a little bit at a time. When you're in auto, we have number of down feed strokes. So it'll down feed once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and so on until whatever number you programmed in here. In this case, it's 20. If it was in left-hand position only for down feed, it will only count down feed once. So it'll start once, over to the right, back, down feed again, second time. So you can see that it's going to take longer to down feed. So your grinding wheel can remove more material before you down feed every time. Now this is a down feed value. It kind of doesn't mean anything other than 0, 5, 10. We can call it percentage, but it's not digital. Even though it goes through a servo motor and a servo drive, the incremented value out of this is an analog incremented value, and it's programmed through the PLC that we put in the machine. So it's the way Reform did it. We had to replicate what they did. There was issues with the down feed also on this machine that we had to get a parameters list for it and reinstall correct parameters. Somebody had been playing around with it. Anyway, it's all been restored, and so the next part is I'll just put it in automatic, and we're going to put it at maximum value for down feed. I'm going to do right and left, and I'm going to turn the button on. And then what I'm going to do is I'll go around to the back of the machine to give you a visual of the ball screws turning slightly to down feed the motor, down feed the unit. Actually, it's so shiny I don't think you'll be able to see it. That right there is the coupler to the ball screw from the motor and the gearbox. That's your brand new gearbox on there. We also had to put a brand new junction box on the machine. We had to put brand new cable track on. This was busted into pieces, and the black conduit we replaced. There was gray conduit in there to start with. Brand new coolant pump. Bearings in all of the drives. The grinding motor. Resurfaced the weigh materials in the back. And last but not least, I'm going to open the door on the control cabinet. Bear with me. As you can see, when it down feeds, the drive is energized. It goes to a run status every time it switches. There's a little PLC we had to put in. We were pretty limited for size for the amount of inputs and outputs, so we went with the Siemens S7-1200 series. So that's been taken care of. This is the down feed, or this is the carriage drive that was installed at Ackhurst for the unit. We had to change some relays around on this. We also had to put a brand new power supply in. There was a 5 amp in there, and it wasn't enough to drive everything, so we had to up it to a